Unusual Summer, a film by Kamal Aljafari. Texts written by Laura Davis and Giuseppe Di Salvatore. Laura Davis. Kamal Aljafari's Unusual Summer is many things: a mystery, a found film, a letter to a time gone past, a poetic tribute to his father, and an observation of the Israeli neighborhood the Palestinian filmmaker grew up in. Its source material is Aljafari's father's VHS surveillance camera tapes, discovered shortly after his death. They portray the neighborhood comings and goings on a nondescript corner in the ghetto of Ramla across July 2006. The same characters re-emerge, with much of the film being structured around the workday. A narrator identifies the figures through intertitles. We can assume the voice is Aljafari watching through the month of footage. It continues the story of the film Recollection, another found film in which the director explores the backdrops of Israelis' films from the 60s and 80s to suggest cinema is the only way Palestinians can return to their homeland. While the film is entirely found, the heavily manipulated narrative borders on fiction. There is a simultaneous counter-narrative that, as it transpires, is Aljafari's 8-year-old niece providing a commentary on an early version of the film. Post-synced sound provides comic sound effects for pedestrians walking across gravel.
هذا من زمان زمان زمان.
The intertitle narrator is not entirely reliable. Given the low resolution of the image, we must trust their language. Arriving first, the word begets the image. The film not only conjures a way of looking, but a way of selectively seeing. In other words, a way of ignoring. There are floating signifiers mid-frame. At one point, a vehicle in the background is set on fire. It is the size and shape of a tank, but the narrator does not feel this worthy of a comment. Instead, they remark that the local taxi driver is not wearing his standard blue shirt. The camera was installed to record the scenes unfolding in front of the father's house after his car was vandalized a number of times, but was it filmed by his father? The technology uncannily turns the lens as figures walk across the frame. The unsteady relation between viewer and subject in favor of the trust between viewer and narrator speaks to the short-sightedness of state surveillance measures, our reliance on which is increasing day by day mid-pandemic. The film is gripping in its uneventful eventfulness. It speaks to this moment in time in which the short-term emergency measures rushed mid-pandemic into law may irrevocably sign away our personal freedoms. I refer to what Yuval Noah Harari describes as under the skin surveillance in his incendiary article for the Financial Times, The World After Coronavirus, an essential discovery.
بشوفوش ولا شيء. يعني وكتير أشياء، هيك أشياء.
Giuseppe Di Salvatore. Kamal Aljafari's Unusual Summer is a prismatic cinema item, as it has a simple dispositive with many layers. In this respect, I would like to add the immediate criminal thread, which is actually declined on many levels, for it oscillates between the private desire to discover the vandalizer, the interpersonal social fear, the institutional ghettoization of territory, and the public imminence of violence in a war-damaged society. In the same way, Aljafari's reappropriation of the images of the surveillance camera also conveys an accordion-like societal reflection, where the intimate father-son relationship, the neighborhood acquaintances, and the bond with Palestine are perfectly intertwined. Unusual Summer, a film by Kamal Aljafari. Texts written by Laura Davis and Giuseppe Di Salvatore.